back in, flag throwers. It is Wednesday, June 4th, and we got a special guest here today. J. Lou is out on assignment, so we got our boy Luke back filling in the co-host seat.
Go.
What's up, Luke?
What's going on?
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We had some breaking news right before the pod came on, but before we get into all that, we just want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to tune into this. As you can see, we are at above 135 subscribers, so if you could please just take the 3 seconds out of your day to hit that thumbs up and to hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely paramount for our growth, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it, and it is a massive favor to us. So if you could please just take that time out of your day to hit the subscribe button. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, be a friend and spread the word, Tell other friends that you know that might like sports, because we are trying to grow, because we have a lot of fun things planned for this summer and leading into football season. You guys aren't going to want to miss this, and if you help us keep growing, we're going to have bigger and better opportunities. But man, Luke, we had some breaking news about an hour and a half before we came live on the pod. The New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, their head coach, after 5 seasons. Absolutely insane, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It feels like he, improved that franchise a lot. Kind of like you said, Dan Campbell with the Lions, similar type of deal.
Exactly.
Except for he got fired because they couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Yeah, shocking news. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, for my football fans out there who aren't really familiar with the NBA head coaches, I just want to say that firing Tom Thibodeau after how they just made it to the Eastern Conference Finals is similar to the Lions firing Dan Campbell after they just lost to the Commanders this past year. It's the same thing. The Knicks were winning like 30-something games a year. Thibs comes in, turns the culture around. Lions were winning like 2 games a year. DC comes in, turns the culture around. So Thibs will land on his feet. Somebody's going to want him because he's a hard-nosed guy. He takes no bullshit. He sets a good culture. He just, in the playoffs, leaves some room to be desired. But if you need a guy to turn your locker room around, Tom Thibodeau is your guy. Right. But yeah, that was absolutely shocking news. If I was New York, I would go after Michael Malone. He just won an NBA title with the Denver Nuggets about 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
So he's a proven winner, and he also just got fired this year as well from the Nuggets. So if I was the Knicks, that's who I was targeting. I would even target Danny Hurley too, because he always talked about wanting to stay in the Northeast. New York is not Northeast, but like close enough. You might be able to lure him out. So if it's anyone less than those two, I think this is a downgrade or a lateral move. But if they get one of those two, I think it's an upgrade at coach.
Yeah.
But NBA is not really your speed, Luke. We got some things that are your speed, though. We're going to get into some NFL talk because there has been some NFL news. This is really not really the biggest time for NFL news. We had some things come out over the past week. The first thing and the most important thing, in my opinion, is Frank Ragnow, the Pro Bowl center from the Detroit Lions, the heart and soul of that offensive line, retired unexpectedly the other day. I believe it was Monday. And he was just 29 years old, and he literally said in his statement about how he did not want to retire, he had to retire because his body was giving up on him.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
Very unexpected. I mean, I respect his decision, but a great player for the Lions for several seasons. But because it's more kind of like I don't know. It's not the magnitude of an Andrew Luck type situation, but it's similar to that.
Yeah, I mean, when one of the captains of your team retires in the prime of his career, I mean, there were some red flags going up because he didn't attend OTAs, the voluntary ones, which is like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But they 29 years old. Apparently the Lions knew about it. They drafted a guy in the second round that they're going to convert to center. He was a guard for Georgia last year. Okay. And apparently they really like him, but they thought Ragnow was going to retire after this upcoming year.
Okay.
So they thought this guy was going to have time to sit and learn, but
yeah,
not anymore. They still got Penei Sewell.
Yeah, they kind of have a little bit of a scramble at center, a little bit less depth, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, center is always one of the hardest positions on the line to replace because not anyone can just plug and play there.
Right.
But I mean, I still like the Lions' offensive line because they still got Penei Sewell and they still got Taylor Decker on the other side. So it's not like they have a bad line, but Ragnow really helped put them in the top 3 of offensive lines in my opinion.
Yeah.
But thoughts and prayers out to Ragnow. I hope he's at peace with his decision, that he can live a pain-free retirement. Because if you're retiring in the prime of your career because your body is forcing you, that's concerning, bro.
Yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good.
Yeah, so T's and P's out to Frank Ragnow. hoping that he has a pain-free retirement. But I do want to say, Ragnow, if for some reason you are listening, A, hot damn, that's awesome. And B, you had a hell of a run, dude, and you have a career you can be very proud of. But moving on to another retirement that happened that day, not as significant. He is a Super Bowl champion, but not as significant. Cornerback Ronald Darby hangs it up after 10 years. Also unexpected, but he's also like a third corner kind of situation. He played for the Ravens for a little bit there, but he won a ring with the Eagles. So congratulations to Ronald as well, getting that 10 years. So you get all them retirement benefits. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a big accomplishment.
Oh yeah, 10 years in the NFL is
10
no
years
joke.
in the league is that's what you work for.
Oh yeah, and then moving on to someone else who almost is out of the league and because of what they did or did not work for. You want to get into the Stefon Diggs boat situation?
Dude,
I
I
feel like that
only
set
know
the
a
internet
little
on
bit
fire.
about it, but if you want to, man, that's up to you.
Well, the Patriots came out and said they're not cutting him, although they did consider it. And now he's magically appearing at OTAs, the voluntary ones. So I think they told him, like, hey, you better get your ass in here or we're going to cut you. But Stefon Diggs and his high-profile girlfriend, Cardi B, were on the boat over the weekend. And Stefon Diggs had other women that were all over him as well, hanging out. And there was a little pink substance in a tiny baggie that you can see in Stefon's hand. It has not been confirmed what that substance was or was not, but allegedly it's not good news. So
no, that's just not a good look
Stefon, shout out representing Maryland. You need to get your shit together, bud, because the NFL doesn't need you. You need the NFL. That's the thing is that the NFL will go on with or without Stefon Diggs. So don't fumble your bag, bro. You just got a nice contract. Don't fumble it.
Sums it up pretty well. Yeah, I don't have much to say on that other than, that's crazy.
Especially because Vrabel's not gonna put up with that shit.
No, he's not going to put up with that.
He's gonna have two. He's gonna have two.
I was going to say
full
if he was under Tomlin, he wouldn't put up with it either. That's why Pickens is gone.
Oh man, he was like, he's already having controversy down there about his number. But yeah, Mike Tomlin, if this happened with him, man,
we do not care.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel with a tin of Zins in each side of his mouth, just sitting there at the desk doing, what are we doing?
Come on, like
do better.
Crazy. Always these receivers, I swear.
Dude, that's really the thing about having a top-end receiver. You're going to find out about this year because you got DK Metcalf. And I'm not calling him a diva, but he's not a straight-A student either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You're going to find out.
To have Pickens and him on the same team, like, on paper is nice, but I feel like they would have ripped each other's head off at some point. They would have gotten mad at each other for not getting the ball. So maybe it's good we don't have both of them on the roster. But that leads me into the next thing I was going to say, the little news I was going to break to you. I saw a tweet saying that Gabe Davis
I was going to bring it up.
For the Steelers. So that could be a good option at receiver for a number 2 piece.
Yeah, so he's kind of in the same situation that Russell Wilson was last year, where he got cut with so much guaranteed money on his contract, he's going to play for the veteran minimum. Yeah. So you guys could get him for absolutely dirt cheap, and I think he would be a better wide receiver too, like fitting in that specific role than George Pickens. I'm not saying he's more talented than George Pickens, but I think he's better fit to be a wide receiver too than George Pickens is.
Yeah, it makes sense. So
because he loves to run block.
If the Steelers were able to bring him in, I would be very excited. That would be a good piece. Yeah, we definitely need another receiver.
Yeah, the Steelers, man. A lot of news coming out of Yinsburg. That you just brought up the first one, and this is after the Steelers attempted to trade for Jonnu Smith. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not hear about this one.
Yeah, the Steelers attempted to trade for Jonnu Smith, but did not want to give him the new contract, like to meet the number that he demanded. So the Steelers tried to get Jonnu Smith from the Dolphins.
Well, I mean, we already have our guy Freiermuth. I have faith in Freiermuth, so I feel
Darnell is so underrated.
Yeah, he could blow up next year as well. So I feel like at the tight end position, that's really not something that we're lacking. Maybe I think that we don't utilize our tight ends as much as we should.
No.
receiving wise, at least. I know they throw a lot of blocks, but receiving wise, we could definitely do a lot more. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not. That hasn't affected me much.
There is no reason why Pat Frymuth isn't having 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns every year.
He's not.
He's talented enough to do it.
Yeah, he is, but we just don't throw the ball to him that much. We just
rely
on him more for blocks, which he's good at. But he can get those receiving yards and he can get those touchdowns.
He can literally be a top 5 tight end if you guys just run the offense through him.
That's what I'm saying. That's why people still draft him in fantasy, because they're hoping that'll happen, but I don't think it actually ever will.
Speaking of tight ends that people always draft in fantasy, I didn't mention this earlier, but it just made me think of it. Kyle Pitts is already injured. I don't know if you saw that.
Like long term?
No, he just sprained his foot.
Dude, that guy's always hurt. I won't ever pick him. Even if it's like the last pick of the whole draft and no one wants him, I'm good, because he'll just get hurt.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, every year people are like, this is the year, myself included. I've fallen for that a couple times. But, yeah, he's already hurt. CJ Stroud's hurt, so another thing to keep an eye on. I don't know if you saw that either.
What's his injury? Shoulder, right?
So the Texans are, they're very trying hard to downplay this, but it is June, brother. Why is his shoulder sore?
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
How many balls is it from, like, impact, or is it just from throwing?
From throwing.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
As baseball guys, we know, we're not saying Tommy John because he's a football player, but as baseball guys, we know what that means.
Yeah.
Something's jacked up in there.
Something's rotator cuff, some shit. I don't know.
They're trying to downplay it very hard that he's fine and that he's just sore. But in my mind, I immediately was like, yeah, he ain't fine. There's no reason his shoulder should be sore in June. If they said this in like November, like week 7, I'd be like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
but in June,
he hasn't been taking any hits. He hasn't taken a hit in months, so
it should be non-contact. Yeah,
it's just from throwing, so that's really not good.
Yeah, CJ Stroud, another guy that I banked on in fantasy, and that didn't really pan out. But hopefully it'll pan out this year, because Nico Collins will definitely be back. I don't know about Tank Dell, bro.
I don't know. He could still end up to be a good back, but he's still young, right? What is he going into?
Yeah, he's young. He just
year?
literally blew his knee out, all of it.
No, oh yeah, that is true. So we'll see.
I remember watching that.
Is he supposed to come back to start the season, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So,
but one last piece of football news, then we'll move on to baseball. It's also on the Steelers. According to Mark Caboli, I love Mark Caboli, bro. He is hilarious. Caboli. He reported that the Pittsburgh Steelers have put an offer on the table to Mr. Watt, and he said, hell no.
Yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts. So
we don't know the numbers of the said offer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation, because it's like, how much longer is he really going to play? Like, can you really give him, like, a deal that's going to be, 4+?
I think he's got one more big contract in him.
Yeah, I mean...
Like 4 years of high-level play is what I mean.
Right, so it's like, do you want to give him a 6 or 7 year deal? I don't know.
I think they're aiming to give him a 4 or 5.
A 4 or 5, okay. I mean, I would be fine with that. The back end of that contract should still be, at least be pretty good.
Above average.
Above average, at least. Probably still Pro Bowl level, but maybe not the level he's at now. I couldn't see him playing anywhere other than Pittsburgh, though, so that's why it kind of hurts.
Yeah, that definitely sucks. And J.J. Watt said it a few months ago. Like, Steelers had their chance to get a hometown discount last season. Not this season that just happened, but the one before it. And they didn't take advantage of it. So now I hear TJ's going to want that top dollar. You guys better lock that in before Micah Parsons. Because if Micah signs before this, or Trey Hendrickson signs before this...
It's going to go up. Even though they're younger, it's going to go up.
Oh, yeah. But, all right, that's it for football talk. We're going to get into baseball. That's Luke's specialty. Luke, we got a lot of baseball topics to get into, because you know what they say about how Memorial Day is like the unofficial start of the baseball season, because it starts getting warm out. That's when the casuals start paying attention, because all the other sports are starting to slow down, and the games start heating up. People start getting in rhythms. Obviously, you and I, we're baseball year-round, but the casuals start watching around Memorial Day, and, man, baseball is swinging a hot bat Pun intended, baby. Let's go. The Orioles are getting hot, even if it is against the White Sox. And we got reinforcements coming, baby. The milkman is back in town off the 60-day IL from a broken thumb. He will return tonight or last night by the time people are listening to this. He is returning tonight, the beginning of the road trip in Seattle.
Let's go. Yeah, big reinforcements for the Orioles. Maybe they can at least, end the season with a respectable record. Or at
Gotta
least
win 70 games.
Somewhat, yeah, maybe not lose 100 games. That would be nice. My Pirates, I don't even know what to say. We've been playing actually better ball lately. We got screwed a little bit the other night on that called third strike on Henry Davis. Should have tied.
I saw that.
It should have walked in the tying run in the 8th inning, but they called it strike 3, and then we ended up losing. We won one game against the Padres, so I guess can't really complain. We should have won. We had a chance to win all of those games. We won the second game. The first game, we got screwed by that call. The third game of that series, we actually led, I think 4-2 or 5-2, and then Tanner Rainey walked 4 players in a row.
Tanner Rainey,
7th
former
or 8th
National.
inning. Yeah, and then we actually ended up releasing Rainey after that. So. So he's gone, but we honestly could have won each of those 3 games against the Padres. Now we start a 3-game series against the Astros. I am going to the game tomorrow, but Skeens was scheduled to pitch tomorrow. That's why I got tickets, but they switched him to tonight. So
I heard today was Skeens' day.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset about that, but oh well. I'll get to see Mike Burrows pitch. I don't really know why he's on the roster. It should still be Carmen Majinski at this point. Or
what happened to Carmen?
They sent him back down to AAA.
Why? I thought he was doing all right.
He was doing pretty good. He was starting to figure it out as a starter. Like we all know at first, it was like he was an elite pitcher for the first 3 innings. Like one time through the order, he was really good, and then he'd get blown up. But he had a few good starts where he'd go 6 innings, give up 1 or 2 runs. But I don't know. I guess that wasn't good enough for the Pirates. They brought up Mike Burrows. I think we have Braxton Ashcraft up too now.
He's pretty decent.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So I think that they're going to piggyback tonight, which could be a good recipe. We'll see. I don't know.
They shouldn't piggyback on Skeens.
No, I'm saying tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're talking
tomorrow.
about when people are listening to this.
Yeah,
My bad.
Yeah, tomorrow.
My bad.
So,
I was confused. I was like, piggybacking off of Skeens is crazy.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Skeens will go 7, then Ashcraft will come in and get the last 6 outs. He came out of the bullpen a couple times so far, so he can definitely do it, even though he's a starter by trade. And I really feel like we should give him a couple starts to see what we have in him, but who knows?
Well, I mean, you got to know, going back to Carmen just real quick, just a quick thought on that. Going from reliever, you never face guys more than once.
Yeah.
So, obviously there's going to be hiccups when you face guys second and third times through the lineup. I don't know why, because isn't he young? Isn't he in his mid-20s?
Yeah, he is young, but, the thing was, going into this offseason, he told the Pirates, he said, I see myself as a starting pitcher. So that's why when Oviedo went down in spring training, they said, Carmen, you are going to get some starts. And, he struggled at first, and then he started to, figure it out, past 70 pitches or so. So I'm not sure why they sent him down, but just
who knows, man.
a lot of things with the Pirates just don't make sense. Also, we have Nick Gonzalez coming off of injury. I don't know if you remember his injury. He hit a home run on opening day and twisted his ankle rounding the bases. And
that was that guy?
Yep. And he's been out since that, and he's making his return tonight. So he's actually a good player too. So we'll see if that can get the offense going a little bit more. It's been good recently though.
Yeah, you got Horwitz back, and now you're getting Gonzalez back. Hey, man, what's the name of your new manager?
Don Kelly.
Yeah, I heard Don Kelly's got the boys buzzing. I heard he got them playing inspiring baseball.
They are definitely playing better. I think their record since he came in is 11-11 or 10-12.
You'll take that as a Pirates fan.
Yeah, it's not bad. And this is what it should have been from the beginning. We should be playing 500 or close to 500 ball. We have really good pitchers. Did you see the run that Bailey Falter made in May?
Yes,
dude,
I picked him up in fantasy.
It's insane. No one's talking about it. Bailey Falter's been balling out. Obviously we have Skeens. Keller's been on a good little stretch. We have good starters. If we could score 3 or 4 runs a game, we would win a lot of games.
Man, you guys I thought you guys best case scenario was gonna hover around 500 to the deadline, buy a bat or two with some of that pitching depth, and then really try to make a run at it.
It's what it should have been. I just think under Shelton, we were just playing very uninspired baseball. He did not motivate the players whatsoever. And now you're seeing the difference with Don Kelly. They're actually, they have a manager that, has the players' backs. He's already gotten thrown out of 3 games, which is crazy.
Oh, right. I love that.
Like, dude, he'll just go lose his mind on the umpires, which is nuts, but it's good.
My kind of manager.
So, yeah, we'll see what the Pirates do the rest of the season.
Yeah, I guess I'll give a quick Orioles update. So under Manzolino, I don't like Manzolino as the manager, but the boys are playing better ball, if that makes sense. So, I don't think Manzolino himself is a good manager, but I think he's just getting the boys to play better ball. So, I still think Brandon Hyde was the scapegoat. I still think Elias is the head that should roll, but what do I know?
Because it wasn't really a, issue of pitching changes or what the lineup is. It was an issue of talent pitching wise.
Yes.
So
exactly.
That's why they've struggled a lot because, like you said, they're down 3 or 4 runs in the 3rd inning way too often. So
I know, bro. I know. I just want to punt on the season and just call up every AAA young top prospect we have. Just give them the rest of the season. Be let's figure out what we got. Povich needs to be in the rotation. Chase McDermott needs to be in the rotation. Trevor Rogers needs to be in the rotation. We need to figure out what we have in them. We need to get Dylan Beavers up here, Judd Fabian, keep Kobe Mayo up here. There's so many guys we need to see what we got in them. And now's the time to do it because if we're not making the playoffs, they're always oh, we don't want to call them up in the middle of a playoff run. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs this year. Probably not unless they go on some crazy run.
They already said they're selling.
I'll raise you a little situation. I know they said they're selling, but there's one guy the Pirates have that could be a good trade piece. And I'm talking about Mitch Keller.
I knew it.
How would you feel if because he's still under team control for I think 3 years after the season or 4 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
How would you feel if there was a deal for Mitch Keller and maybe one bat that you guys have now, then 1 or 2 prospects? How would you feel about that?
It all depends on who we give up.
True.
If we're giving up a guy that I don't think's really going to pan out, or we have a plethora of depth, I'm let's do it, all for it. So if we're giving up
say the main piece coming back to the Pirates would be Kjerstad. How would you feel about that?
I'm biased because I like Heston Kjerstad as a dude because I don't know if you know his story or not.
I'm not familiar now.
So the 2020 draft, we take him 2nd overall, and then immediately in the after draft physical, they discover he has myocarditis, the heart condition.
Oh, shoot.
Has to stop playing baseball for 2 years, and then he comes back.
Okay, so yeah, that's a feel-good story, and he's still a good hitter too.
Well, he can't hit a beach ball with a boat oar right now, but he's supposed to be a good. Yeah, he's supposed to be a good hitter. Okay. Last year he was lighting it on fire, and then he got hit in the freaking head by the Yankees. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Heston Kjerstad's supposed to be known for his bat, but he's really, really struggling right now. I think he just needs to, get his confidence up. But Heston Kjerstad, I'd be fine with it. We have a lot of outfield depth. But, that's what I'm talking about. Or if we send, a Judd Fabian, for example, because, he's, the next guy up for outfielders for us.
Yeah.
So, if we traded him, I'd be cool with it. Beavers, I'd be a little upset if we got rid of. But, obviously can't get rid of my boy Honeycutt. I know he can't hit worth a lick in Aberdeen right now, but do not get rid of my boy.
No.
I at least got to meet him at Bowie. Or
what about a piece? What about a piece like Westberg? Would that be too big of a piece to go?
That's way too much. We would have to get Jarrett Jones before the Tommy John.
Right. Yeah. Or what about
because that's an all-star player that's controllable.
I heard the Pirates are actually looking. Or this is a report that they might be trading Ke'Bryan Hayes. I don't really know what team would want him. He has a really good glove at third base, gold glove, level.
But he can't hit.
He really can't hit. He's had back issues, which is the issue. What if there was a deal on the table? I'm just literally making this up on the spot.
That's fine.
Orioles receive Mitch Keller and Ke'Bryan Hayes. Pirates receive Jordan Westberg. That's it.
Ooh, no.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
You wouldn't? Okay.
No. I would do Jordan Westberg for Jared Jones before the Tommy John.
Pre-injury. Yeah, pre-injury.
Yeah, straight up. I would do that straight up.
Okay.
We get a young ace. You get a young all-star that can hit, play defense. He's a 5-tool guy. He's controllable for the next 4 years. He's already an all-star at a premier position. and he can play second and shortstop as well. So like you can keep Ryan at third. So I would do Jared Jones without the Tommy John for Jordan Westbrook straight up.
Okay.
I feel like that's a fair trade.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Jared Jones is out for the rest of the season and probably the all of next season too. So
Probably, yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of sucks.
We'll get into the team the Orioles are playing tonight and tomorrow when people are watching this. The Seattle Mariners are hot. I'm pissed that we're playing them
Cole Young
right now.
Baby. Cole Young and Cal Raleigh.
Big Dumper. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into, dude. Big Dumper leads the league in homers.
Yeah, that's what does he have? 22 or 23?
23.
Has he been catching a lot or mainly DHing?
I know he's played in every single game. I don't know how many of them he's caught.
I mean, still, as like at least a part-time catcher, that is crazy to be leading the league in home runs this deep into the season. And he's on pace to hit like 60 home runs. It's insane.
Yes.
Like it's actually like if you were to say, here's Aaron Judge and here's Cal Raleigh, who looks like, a dad with a hefty truck payment or something like that. Which guy has more home runs? I would say 99 out of 100 people would say Aaron Judge. But Cal Raleigh is leading the league in home runs.
Big Dumper, dude. Shout out to him. Cal Raleigh is everything that I thought Adley Rutschman was going to be.
Dude, it's
Platinum
crazy.
glove, hitting 20-plus homers before the All-Star break.
I was watching the one game Saturday night, Cole Young's debut. That's why I was watching the Mariners. And Cal Raleigh hit a home run on a ball that was literally going to hit his shoulder. He pulled his hands in and like smacked it out. I was like, what the heck? Like,
I don't know how people hit
is
inside
this?
pitches.
It's quick hands, I guess.
I can't get my hands in like when I don't know. I just never liked hitting inside.
Dude.
I always liked getting my arms extended, personally. But,
Cal Raleigh
dude.
He's hitting everything.
That's why I was telling you earlier when we were talking before we went live, like about how I was looking up like catchers that won MVP because Big Dumper hits 50 over 45 homers. He's winning MVP.
Yeah,
especially if the Mariners win the division.
At the catching position, I think if he hits 45 plus, you kind of have to give it to him unless, Judge has some crazy season, which he's definitely capable of doing. If he hits,
he'd have to hit 60 again.
Yeah, we'll see.
We got to think premier position on defense, and if he not saying he wins the Platinum Glove again, but he wins the Gold Glove. He bats above 240 and hits 45 plus homers, and he plays every day. It's got to be Big Dumper, dude.
I don't know, but if Judge goes on some stretch and somehow hits 65 home runs or nearing 70 home runs, it's a tough choice.
Yeah,
it's like the most valuable player is definitely Raleigh, but the most historic season might be Judge. That
Yankee bias is such bullshit. It literally happened to Cowser last year. Cowser should have been the unanimous Rookie of the Year last year. He was the best hitter by far for rookies. He literally was second place for Gold Glove in left field, and they gave it to frickin' Luis Heel.
Yeah, that didn't make much sense to me.
That pissed me off. That was pure Yankee bias. And if it comes down to Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh, who plays in Seattle, no disrespect, Seattle, Washington State is beautiful, but the Yankee bias is bullshit.
And it's like whatever Judge hits, if he ends up with 70 home runs, you can take like -7 off of that because 7 or 8 of those are cheap home runs that are not a home run anywhere else.
Short porch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just flicks the ball out to right field. I mean, it's a good strategy, but that's not going to work if you're playing in these bigger ballparks. Like if he plays in Miami, he doesn't hit that many home runs. Is all I'm saying.
You know what would be crazy to think about?
What?
What if the Rockies weren't poverty and had someone like Aaron Judge, like playing 81 games at Coors Field?
Dude.
He might break Barry Bonds' record.
I think he would. I honestly think he would. Like, he would hit so many balls 500 or close to 500 feet. It would be crazy. It would be crazy.
Dude, just have him and a healthy Giancarlo Stanton out in Coors Field for 81 games, dude. And, oh my God,
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if their team ERA was 7. They would score 10 runs a game.
Torpedo bat or not, it does not matter.
It would be crazy.
But man, we'll get into. You want to talk about the good feel good story or the unfortunate story first?
With baseball?
Yeah.
let's talk about the feel-good story. I'm not really sure what this is, but
Feel good story. Oh, we've already talked about this, dude. Jack Caglione batting sixth tonight. So we'll find out by the time that this airs how he performed in his debut. He's batting sixth and he's DH, dude. So the scouting report that I read was that he hits like the homers and everything, but they want him to move to right field because of Pasquantino playing first.
He's their guy at first base now.
Yeah, so they want Caglione to play the outfield. And although he mashes a lot of homers, he apparently has a really high chase rate. So that's like his only like flaw as a prospect.
Okay. I mean,
But that's something I feel like can be fixable.
that's a lot of power hitters. That's even like Riley Green has a high chase rate. He strikes out a lot, but he's
He's a dog.
one of the best players in the game now. So I feel like that's fixable. That's something you can deal with if he's going to put up some good power numbers.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's a good enough athlete to play the outfield because he was a two-way player in college. He actually won.
I can't believe he's not two-way in
That's what I'm saying.
pros.
Like, dude, they were showing his highlights pitching. He threw a 98-mile-an-hour cutter from the left side. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Also, he's
Crazy.
left-handed.
yeah, left-handed pitcher. So
98 from the left side is diabolical.
all I'm saying is, if the Royals are ever in a situation where they need someone to get 3 outs and their closer is, has pitched the last 3 days,
Unavailable.
throw Jack Caglione in there. No one's
Why
gonna know
not,
what to do.
dude?
Why not? He has that like Madison Bumgarner type like left-handed cutter.
Oh, yeah, that coming from way out
Yeah,
here
dude.
type stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Dude,
so.
Bumgarner, man. He was like obviously good in the regular season, but he might be one of the best postseason pitchers of all time.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is
Like,
the best first
legit.
season performer of all
But, like,
time.
I will never forget, I was in middle school that World Series where they was like the 4th inning and they were just like, screw it, put Bumgarner
Yeah,
in to
he
close
five
it out
innings.
in the 4th inning.
5 innings out of the bullpen, I think, on 1 or 2 days rest.
Yeah.
To seal Game 7 of the World Series. Like, that's crazy. I don't think that would happen today. I know that
No.
was like only like 10 years ago, but I don't think that would happen today.
Not a chance. Like, if the Pirates were in Game 7 of the World Series, there's no way they would throw Paul Skeens out there for 5 innings on 2 days rest.
I don't know. Paul Skeens is a different breed.
They should, but the
should.
Pirates wouldn't do that.
Paul Skeens would regularly go over 120 pitches at LSU. So I feel
I
like
remember watching him.
if the Pirates were ever in a playoff situation with him, hopefully that does happen. They just gotta let it eat with Skeens. They just gotta let
it eat.
They just
dude.
gotta let him go out there because him on pitch 100 is better than any other pitcher they have on their roster currently. So
at pitch
like,
20.
yeah. So like, I don't know.
Dude, that was crazy, that game. It was like the 4th inning, and Bruce Bochy was like, F it. We got to lead. Bumgarner.
He's
It's
like,
over,
Bumgarner's
baby.
going in. Let's go.
But yeah, so Jack Caglione, you and I are both very high on him, so I'm super pumped to see how he does. The Royals are the Orioles' kryptonite, so don't love they're getting another massive bat. Dude, Bobby Witt and Jack Caglione, holy shit.
Crazy. Bobby Witt's having kind of like an underwhelming season so far. So,
He'll turn it around.
I think like, doesn't he only have like 6 home runs or something like that? Like
You can place your final answer while I look it up.
his power numbers are way down from what they were last year.
All right, what's your final answer?
5 home runs.
6.
He has 6. Okay, so
280 batting 283, 6 homers, 31 RBIs.
I mean, yeah, the average is where it should be, but dude needs to hit a few more home runs. I mean, he probably will once it like warms up, which it is right now. But he could still put
Dude,
up.
think
20
about
home
this
run season.
lineup. How many more years do you think Salvi has?
I don't know,
What,
dude.
2?
'Cause how old
1 or
actually
2?
is he? He's only like 34, right? I think he's younger than you think.
That sounds right. Final answer?
34.
35.
He's 35. Okay. So
So what, 2 years?
yeah, probably 2 years, and he can still hit. Like
That's what I'm saying. Think of this lineup, dude. Michael Garcia is not bad at third. Then you got Caglione at the second hole. Well, no, they'll probably move Witt up to the 2 hole.
yeah,
Caglione,
Pasquantino.
Pasquatch,
Yeah,
Salvi. Holy hell.
yeah. That's the gauntlet right there. So
Speaking of gauntlet, though, the sad news that I brought up earlier was that former Baltimore Oriole, current Arizona Diamondback, and was my favorite pitcher for one season of baseball. Corbin Burns has been clearly identified by John Boy, shout out John Boy, saying that his elbow is dead and that he is done and that he is going to need Tommy John surgery. That has not been confirmed yet, but he's been put on the injured list. But he's literally walking off the mound going, my season's over. You can read his lips. So
Yeah, that's
Corbin Burns
really sad.
just signed that massive deal too.
Yep. So, I mean, it's sad. I mean, he's gonna be out for the rest of this season, maybe all of next season.
Probably all of next year too. It's like an 18-month thing.
Yeah, so I mean, sad news. Sad news.
Yeah, I like watching him pitch, especially when he was wearing that black and orange. But
Yeah.
it couldn't have happened to a better dude. I mean, Corbin Burns is just an absolutely amazing human. But
Yeah, dude.
yeah, that was devastating news. I wasn't too thrilled about. All right, we can get into a couple more things, then we can go. We'll get into. So remember the A's? How we were talking about how the A's were like a low key, like a sneaky team.
Dude, they are. They still are. Jacob Wilson.
No, they've lost. They're like 1-9 in their last 10. They're melting.
Okay. So
Yeah, they fell off a cliff.
They're. I mean, I didn't know that, but from you saying that tells me their pitching has gone bad.
Yeah, they have like a negative 200 run differential.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they definitely had it in them to do that. A young team, but they have a good level of talent. They just need more MLB experience, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
So this probably won't be their season, but they have the odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year currently, Jacob Wilson, son
What a
of
guy.
former Pirate Jack Wilson. So I've been rooting for him. He's a good player.
We watched a couple of his ABs when we were hanging out.
Yeah.
He's got that funky stance, but
Funky,
man, he just demolishes the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. And he hardly ever strikes out either, which is crazy in today's game. But yeah, that's unfortunate for the A's.
Yeah, so we're going from the coldest team in baseball, besides the Rockies, to the hottest team in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Dude.
8 in a row, eating the W's Jameis Winston style.
The
They
Brew
went
Crew.
into Philly, put belt to ass
Dude.
on the Philadelphia Phillies.
I would say of all the teams in the NL Central, my NL Central with the Pirates, the Brewers are the team that I really don't mind. Yeah, they're on a good little stretch. I have Churio and Contreras on my fantasy team. They've been going off, so I'm happy
Love
about that.
Jackson Churio.
And to see them sweep the Phillies, that's always a good sight.
Yeah, my dad's from Wisconsin, so like I have like a soft spot for the Brewers. But yeah, to see them going off, and I said in our preview that the Brewers are the team to watch out for because they never have like big stars. They just play good, fundamental baseball, and here they are, 8 in a row, putting belt to ass to some of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, I mean Jackson Churio, man, he's a rising star. He's the real deal. And Yelich is having his average is still pretty low, but he's been
hitting nukes.
He's hitting some home runs. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's a good team. It's a sleeper team. If they pick up an arm at the deadline, watch out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, honestly, they need to get healthy pitching-wise, and they just need to keep hitting the ball. Rhys Hoskins has come back to life this year as well. That's a huge part of it. Joey Ortiz is an above-average starting everyday shortstop for them. Bryce Terang is a hell of a leadoff guy. Like, they have pieces. They aren't big names. Obviously, they have Contreras, the elite, like, I would say second-best catcher in baseball right now. I never remember if it's William or Wilson.
Breaking news. We were just talking about this. It's small news. Steelers renew talks with Dolphins tight end Jonnu Smith, who is seeking a new contract. Adam Schefter. So maybe he is coming to Pittsburgh. I don't know. I don't really see the vision. I don't really see the need, but I don't know.
Never say never, but never.
So
Wow.
there you
Let's
go.
see what
I didn't
Shifty's
mean to
got to
interrupt
say
your
about it.
little baseball spiel there, but I saw that
You're
pop
good,
up. I had to
bro.
say it.
Oh yeah, I see that now. That's crazy. Also, not the Knicks coming out and saying that they would rather have a coach who's more lenient and not as much of a hard ass. Whatever.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I thought we were playing a grown men league, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for... oh, wait, no. I got one piece of rumor mill I just want to get your thoughts on because if this trade were to go down, depending on who they send back, would be... Like, this would put the team you were the highest on, I would say, in the inner circle with, like, the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Mets and the Phillies.
Okay, so I can tell this is something with the Tigers, right?
No, other one. Other league.
Who is it?
NL.
The Phillies?
No, we argued about this.
Who is it?
The Fathers.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but reliable sources have confirmed that the Padres are attempting to trade for Jarren Duran.
I heard
from the
about
Red
that.
Sox.
I heard about that. I mean,
that is dude. Can you imagine that outfield?
that's what I was gonna say. So their outfield would be Merrill, Tatis, Duran.
Yes, that's the best outfield in baseball.
That would be crazy. Who would he replace in that outfield? So who's their left fielder right now? Tatis, Merrill, and
great question.
Is Gavin Sheets playing outfield or is he just DHing?
I'm sure he's got something to do with it.
I feel like it might be some kind of
roster.
platoon situation in left field.
It probably is.
I mean, it was Profar last year. We literally
left field is Gavin Sheets and Tyler Wade.
Okay, so
because Jason Hayward's on the injured list.
Yeah, they had Hayward, which is a good defensive piece, a good locker room guy. But yeah, he's definitely seen better days.
Dude, Jarren Duran, Jackson Merrill, Tatis could be the greatest outfield of all time. Talking about all three.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of what the Pirates outfield was, years ago. Everyone thought it was going to be, I mean, it was a good outfield for a couple of years. Everyone thought it was going to be a generationally good outfield when we had McCutchen, Marte, and Gregory Polanco.
Right.
Back before Polanco fell off the face of the earth. But, yeah, I heard about that. I don't know what would have to go back to Boston for that.
I'm looking at their prospects right now. They only have two elite prospects.
That's what I was gonna say. They've already traded away all of their good prospects. So I'm like, what do they really have to give? They might honestly have to give one, already legit MLB player like Cronenworth might be gone if that happens, or someone like that. Maybe even.
But does Boston want him though?
I don't know. It's weird because. Bogart's
who they could want?
Who?
They could want Luis Arias because he plays first. They need a first baseman.
They could, and he's been moved around a couple times. I don't think the Padres would want to part ways with him because he just fits. He sets the table for those power hitters.
But for Jarren Duran, dude.
I don't know. It's weird because Boston is contending this season, so I'm not really sure why. Yeah, they're there. If they listen,
they're on the struggle bus.
If they go on a 5 or 6 game win streak, they're right there for the wild card race, which could easily happen. They have a decent roster.
How many games out of first do you think they are for the division?
Probably 7. But they're 9. They're probably no more than 4 or 5 games out of the wild card, though, right?
So they are 29 and 33. They are.
I'm gonna guess they're 5 games.
They're 4.5.
So yeah, they're right there. They're right there. They're a hot streak away from being a game out of a playoff spot.
The Angels have a better record than the Orioles. I'm gonna cry.
Shout out Jordan.
Shout out Jordan's AL West pick. But dude, the Blue Jays are 31 and 28.
Yeah, they've been on a little good stretch here. I think they're either in the last playoff spot or a game or a half game out or something. So.
I want to put it on the record. All of the things I said about the Blue Jays, I said that without Vlad Jr. signing. I said all of those things thinking he was not going to re-sign and they were going to melt.
Yeah.
Remember when I said they were going to lose 100 games?
Yeah, I mean, I
said that thing.
I predicted the Blue Jays to have a 500-ish season. So
I made that prediction thinking Vlad wasn't going to sign and they were going to melt. But, all right, speaking of melting, we're going to talk about something that doesn't melt. We're going to get into the NHL Stanley Cup Lord O. Stanley Finals.
Let's go.
And it is a rematch from last year. Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers versus Matthew Kachuk and the Florida Panthers. Luke, who does this favor, it being a rematch from literally last year?
So, yeah, I'll set the table a little bit. So, a lot of people are like complaining that it's like a rematch. It's the same two teams. Let's get some other team in here. I kind of like the rematch vibe. It's all the same characters from last year. Everyone knows everyone pretty much. Little more animosity between the teams because they played the cup against each other last year, which was a crazy, very dramatic cup final.
Went to 7.
Yeah, if you don't remember, it was Panthers go up 3-0. They're on top of the world, and then they lose 3 in a row. Goes to Game 7, and the Panthers win Game 7, which was it was crazy. But so I kind of said this on my own TikTok at Catching Up with Catcher. So it was the 83 and 84 Oilers lost to this great Islander team in 83. Came back in 84. It was the same Stanley Cup matchup. Gretzky beat that generational Islander team. My Pittsburgh Penguins in 08 go up against
Crosby.
Yeah, go up against the legendary Detroit Red Wings. A young team, a young Crosby, Malkin, Talbot, Fleury, Letang, all the guys. They lose to them in 6 games, come back the next year, beat this great Red Wing team, pretty much dethrone them from, their greatness, and beat them in 7 games in 2009. So now McDavid has a chance to do that. I think that the Panthers are maybe not as great of a team, but they've been to the Stanley Cup the last 3 seasons. That's what I'm saying, though. I think people don't see them as this great team because they're from Florida, but they kind of are. So
yeah, they won it last year with the same cast of characters, like you said.
Yeah,
that same cast of characters added Brad freaking Marchand.
Add Brad Marchand. Add the rat in there. So
what about the defender that's really good? He's slipping my brain. Jones.
Yeah, Seth Jones. Yeah, they brought in Seth Jones.
He's in there too. Yeah.
So it's dang, they have a better roster, but the Oilers have the best player in the world, Connor McDavid. If he can, go off, there's no really stopping him if he has an amazing series, and I think the Oilers can do it. I think that history is going to repeat itself like it did for Gretzky and Crosby. I am taking the Oilers in 7 games. Give me Connor McDavid. Yes. Yeah, give me Connor McDavid to score 9 goals this series. He's going to go off. He's going to go off.
9 goals is crazy. Did you see that breakaway goal he scored against Dallas in the closeout game? That was nasty.
Dude, he just has
that was nasty.
He has that in his back pocket because he has more speed than anyone. He has the hands in tight better than anyone. Maybe not Crosby though, but you know what I mean. And they got Draisaitl too. They got Hyman too, or not Hyman. Yeah.
They have Hyman.
Yeah. I was thinking of someone else.
He might be injured, but he's on the team.
Yeah, if they
have Evander Kane's not bad.
Yeah, Kane can hopefully go off if he's mentally there.
They have Nugent Hopkins still, I think.
Right. And if they can get at least adequate goaltending, I feel like they have a good chance in this series.
Stuart Skinner, my God.
I don't know why they didn't go out and get another goalie. He's not a bad goalie, but I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, what a world we're going to live in when Stuart Skinner is a cup-winning goalie.
If the Oilers win the cup, it won't be because of Stuart Skinner. I'm sorry. I say it. It'll be because of McDavid and Draisaitl.
Dude, my prediction for this series, in 6 games, Game 6, it's who has Game 1? Florida. I'm
pretty sure Florida is home ice. Yeah.
Let me confirm that before I give my official prediction here. Oh, I lied. Game 1's in Edmonton.
Oh, the Oilers have home ice. Oh crap. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, that kind of alters my prediction.
Honestly, man, the Oilers have a lot of pressure on them. I feel like having home ice kind of hurts them. If it goes to Game 7. If it goes to Game 7 and they kind of shit the bed, if they give up a goal early, those fans are going to get on
Stuart Skinner does Stuart Skinner activities.
Yeah. So, I don't know. In a Game 7 scenario, I feel like a lot of the times the away team has the advantage, and they definitely do in this scenario because there's just so much pressure on not only not just the Oilers. I would say McDavid in general to get it done to win his Stanley Cup. So I'm still going Oilers in 7, but it's gonna be tough.
I think it's gonna be Game 6 in Florida, and Connor McDavid's gonna stand up in the dressing room. And he's gonna look around at the guys, and pardon my French, but he's gonna look at his boys, and he said, "We are not flying back to Edmonton without the fucking cup." And he's gonna go out there, and he's gonna drop a hattie, and they're gonna win in 6 on Florida's ice and fly back to Edmonton with the cup.
Okay, I like that. I think it's gonna go 7 games, but I like that.
I think McDavid, whatever the closeout game is going to look his boys in the eye and tap the C on his chest and be like, "I'm going to be a captain today." And he's going to drop a hattie or better. Well, he's either going to drop a hat trick or have like 4 or 5 points.
Yeah.
Like have like a bunch of assists. And they're going to fly back to Edmonton with the cup.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I think because you saw how McDavid reacted when they lost that 7, like how personally and how hard he took that. I think if they're in a spot to close it out, he's going to we're going to see a side of McDavid we've never seen before.
Yeah, he's just going to go crazy mode.
He's going to remember that he's the best player in the world, and he's going to act accordingly.
Yeah, I like it. I like the prediction.
Do you put him and Draisaitl on the same line? Or do you try to spread out the wealth?
That's tough. I mean, you have Hyman's been playing on McDavid's line, right? So that's a good piece. I feel like to start the series, you spread them out, but at times you can put the two-headed monster out there. Like the Penguins used to do it a lot more when they were younger, but they would put Crosby and Malkin out there at the same time if they needed, a big goal. If it's like at the end of the period, so like they're gonna have the intermission to take a little break.
Right.
I would say start them off on separate lines, but when you need it, put them together. And they're obviously on the same power play.
Obviously, you
so
gotta load the ice with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm super pumped for the finals just because I'm gonna be rooting for Edmonton. I want McDavid to get a cup. And one last thing about it before we get up out of here, I think if McDavid wins this cup, we're gonna see the most dangerous McDavid we've ever seen next season because he's gonna have that weight lifted off his shoulders and he's just gonna play free hockey.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think once he does it once, he's more likely to do it 2, 3,
We'll see.
So.
He's been known as kind of a choker so far in his career, but he still has a lot of time.
Like Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing I meant to ask you. How did you feel about Ottinger getting pulled after 2 shot attempts in that closeout game?
He gave up 2 goals on 2 shots, right?
Yeah, and they yanked him.
I mean,
Casey DeSmith wasn't bad, but you would have rather have had Ottinger in there.
Ottinger's definitely a better goalie. DeSmith, former Penguin, he's a solid goaltender. I mean, but Ottinger's your big game guy, so I think that you should have stuck with them.
And they said that's the second time that's happened to him in his career too. So if I was him, I'd be pissed.
It's like if you're Dallas, you have a good team, you can score 2 goals. I mean, maybe if you were to give up another goal within the next 4 or 5 minutes, then maybe pull him. But
3, I would have been fine with.
Yeah, after 2 shots, there's still a lot of hockey left to play.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it, and I wonder if that's gonna low-key burn the bridge between them. It's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you got anything else before we get out of here?
Hey, I just had to say one thing. I haven't been on the podcast since this little matchup when Jolie and I took down you and your fiance Haley in cornhole. So I just had to say that on here for all the people to hear. I just had to say that on here. You were talking a lot of smack, and we came in there.
Bro, we were literally in game 2 and it got rained out.
We came in there. Hey, we won the game that mattered. The full game that we played, we took care of business. So that's all I gotta say.
Oh, we are so gonna have a rematch.
I bet.
You best believe there's gonna be a rematch. We have got to at least get one more shot at it.
All right,
oh man, dude, that was a time, man. That was a great time.
Yeah, that was a good day.
But all right, Thank you, Luke, for filling in while Jordan's out on assignment. We love having you on. I know your schedule's busy, but anytime you're around, we always get you on here for the people because I know they love it as well. But if you've listened this far and you have not subscribed or hit the follow button, I don't even know what to say to you anymore. I'm just kidding. Please make sure you do that. If you've listened this far, I would hope you enjoy the content. If you do, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, please hit the follow. Please spread the word as well. Help us grow. It is a huge favor to us, and we're extremely, extremely grateful. But you know how we end this thing, guys.
We're not going to apologize for winning.
No, we are not. We will see you all next week. See ya.
Peace.